This is WMNF Tampa, and I am Dr. H. I'm here for a few more minutes until the next programmers get here. So this message and song is Hold On, Oh Soldier by the Mississippi Mass Choir.
You may be feeling a little discouraged, but just looking for some kind of sign to reassure you that he's not forgotten. But remember your past. Whenever you ask, he was right there to carry you through.
Find the shadows cast by rainbows. There you'll meet the sage. Feeding rabbits bits of lettuce or cleaning out the cage. He can give you more direction than you ever known. Show you your brown baby shoes now. My, how you have grown. Ain't it nice to fly? You're waving as soft clouds go by, but peace won't be still of its own free will. Say you want to go exploring, you got to find some truth. You can't stand one more day of Christians shouting down at you. You say you don't dig politics, that never was your bag. People who could run for office wave their private flags. Ain't it nice to fly? You're waving as all clouds go by, but peace won't be still of its own free will. Big man, Ain't it nice to fly? You're waving as soft clouds go by, but peace won't be still of its own free will. My Lord.
The gang is all here. You are tuned to the Sunday Forum.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to another edition of the Sunday Forum right here on WMNF at 8.5 Tampa, Sarasota, St. Pete, and surrounding areas. This is the voice of the Tampa Bay area, Walter L. Smith II, along with members of the Fourth Estate crew.
Yeah. Miss
Happy
Annie?
Mother's Day,
Good
crew.
morning, good morning, good morning.
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you very much,
Happy
sir.
Mother's
Thank you
Day.
very much.
Yes, yes, yes. All them children running around your house.
Yes, the house is smelling good. My daughter's doing the Mother's Day breakfast with my grandchildren, so I'm very, very happy. Shout out to Miss
Yes.
Yolanda and your mom. Happy Mother's Day to them as well. And Billy, to your mom, your sisters, and everyone. And to
Yes.
all our listeners out there, happy Mother's Day to you. But you guys know what I'm about to say. Guess what? We mothers every day. But we appreciate this
Yes,
one day
right.
they want to give us out the month. But we mothers every day. But yes.
That is so true. That is so true. And listen, there are those who are mothers who aren't biologically mothers,
That is
but
correct.
they're there. They are there. They're the mother figures. That's for
That's
sure.
right. You can definitely be a mother
Right.
to someone else without giving birth to them. You can just be about being there, being that nurturing person that they have, that they know they can come to, good, bad, or indifferent. You're gonna be there to be supportive of them. That's a mother, absolutely. Giving birth alone does not just make you a mother. So I agree with you.
That is correct, ma'am. That is correct. You know, my sister is one, and she enjoys that. being that auntie, you know. And there are a lot of aunties out there that have played that mother role for sure. And, you know, interesting thing, you know, of course, you know, you always see movies now, a lot of movies out there that that you see the mothers who go out there and save their children now, right? And now the action movies have taken it to another level. You got the mothers out there that are kicking butt, going out there and they're kung fu masters and secretly kung fu masters, and the children didn't know it. Mothers got all types of tricks up their sleeves on them.
Absolutely. Believe it or not, like you said, play a superhero. When a mother see their child going through something or they see them in need, that extra strength, that extra power, it kicks in. When you become a mother, you find strength that you never even thought you had, okay? You're doing things that you never believed you would be able to do. And at the end of that day, that journey, or whatever the situation may be, you always end up saying those last words, but by the grace of God. But by the grace of God. I grew up hearing that in my household. Yes.
Oh, my gosh. You know, I tell the story quite often that my mother, when I was born breech, right? So my mom loves to tell the story. I was born butt first. I'm like, wow, Mom. You know, she loves telling that story. They had to pull me out by forceps, and that way she could hold it over my head because it was painful. I said, okay, Mom, thank you very much, appreciate it. So I'm gonna hear it again today, of course, and of course I'm gonna also hear the story of how I almost drowned, and because I didn't listen to what she said in the pool when I was about 4 or 5 years old. And she had to go there and come save me, which she did. And I can give a million stories of it. I think anybody can give a million stories of it. So today, what I want people to do, I want folks to call in, and I want you to tell me if you have a story about how your mom saved your life. Please call in 813-239-9663. 813-239-9663. About how your mom saved your life right here on the Sunday Forum. I want to hear about it. Okay?
I like that.
And yeah. I think it's important. You know, today I wanted to share something that came on. You know, always at some point throughout the week, we always have all these news articles and research that we do throughout the week. And, you know, the intention usually is to go with one particular story and to discuss it along with other news on Sunday. Well, that changes from time to time, just so everybody knows. Excuse me. Just so everybody knows. That does change from time to time. And this weekend is no different. Let me tell you, I was doing my research this weekend, and I happened to cross a documentary, an actual interview with Maya Angelou. And it was in 1973, happened to be the year I was born. And I'm sitting there listening to and watching this video with, I think it was anchorman Moyer. I forget Moyer's first name. Was it Roger Moyer? Anybody remember Roger Moyer? Was that his name really?
Roger?
No. I'm not sure.
The anchorman?
Oh, the anchorman.
Yeah.
No.
The TV anchorman.
We'll put it up in a second. What happened?
Okay, all right. Anyway. All right, so here's the deal. Anyway, so Moyer was sitting there, and he was interviewing Maya Angelou.
You mean Bill Moyer, yeah.
Bill Moyer, that was it. Bill Moyer, that was it. So Bill Moyer was interviewing Maya Angelou in 1973, and he asked her about black mothers, or about mothers, or the impact of the black woman. And Dr. Angelou responded by saying, "You have no idea, Bill, about the impact of the black mother. The black woman, as we call her, has been responsible for saving millions of lives. Millions." And he said, "Really?" He said, "Yes, of course." He said, and they carry a tremendous weight. And he said, "How so?" He said, "Well, remember, black women have breastfed white children who they knew at some point could and would one day be responsible for killing their child." But just listen to what I just said.
Yeah, I'm to repeat that again.
They have breastfed. They kept what she said was so profound. She said that black women historically have been the mother of all of people who have been the most dastardly of people. That's basically what she was saying. She's breastfed people who would one day be the murderers of their own child. That is one hell of a commentary. That was a statement that was very profound. And she said that they had to live with that. They had to stomach that. That was a duty. That was a duty. They knew that person that they were carrying, they were holding, could one day take the life of their child. They had the lives of their own children in their hands. And they were giving life to. That is one heck of a thing. Yet, they turn right back around and could take their lives.
Yeah.
And did. And did. That's one heck of a... That perspective blew my mind. That perspective blew my mind.
To sit down and actually picture that, of the black woman is simply breastfeeding their master's child. And to know that master's child, if she's breastfeeding, may one day grow up and kill her own kind. Isn't that something? Isn't that something?
Unbelievable. Yeah. Or kill her child.
Her child, you're right. You're right.
And this did happen. This happened throughout our history here. That is a narrative of our history. That's a narrative of our women. That takes a lot of power. When you think about the strength, but then you think about the power as well. There are hundreds of cases where you saw that the black woman had in her hand the power to actually end the lives of those who were oppressing us. Right? You saw there are stories of them grinding glass and putting it in food. There are stories of arsenic being put in food. There are stories of information that was passed from person to person because they were so close and intimately aware of things that would happen in the home or in offices, political or otherwise. The most unsuspecting of women would end up being, or could end up being, and were, quite often, the most powerful of women. And were responsible, ultimately, for the changing of the tide of wars and whether you're talking about our wars here in the United States or whether you're talking about wars overseas, women, black or white, women, but with black women in particular, there is a type of strength that comes from the betrayal that has been done to them.
Well, you know,
right?
when you think of it, you have to also recognize that, because that strength is mental power as well. You know, as I stated before, sometimes when, you know, a mother sees their child going through something in a dangerous situation, they've been able to, and there's been stories about this, you know, move a car, you know, or lift something that, you know, by themselves or whatever the case may be. But the mental strength, the mental power that a woman endures, not just giving birth, but in that situation scenario that you just created, you know, being there, breathing, but giving life to someone that may possibly grow up one day and kill her own child, you know, giving, you know, nurturing someone whose parent, you know, may have been their rapist, you know, and now they're nurturing their child from the birth of their biological mother. It's just think that mentally, that can drain a woman, that can tear a woman up inside emotionally, and it amazes me because you're right. We're so resilient. The black woman has endured so much. We're so resilient that it becomes second nature almost. You know. Now we do know, we recognize sometimes women give birth and they go through the postpartum and things to that effect. But just imagine, again, back during that time when they did not acknowledge postpartum depression or whatever, no one had the luxury to go through that. But just imagine being raped and abused and then have to give birth to that same child, watching that child grow up and also become a slave. Just imagine that. And imagine it's a female child you gave birth to, knowing they will one day go through the same difficulties and turmoil and situations that you're going through. That's a whole lot of emotional pressure to deal with, Walter. You know? So, again, we're mothers every day. We're mothers every day. We endure so much, not just through the birth, but we endure so much after the birth. My grandmother used to always say, when you first have your child and they come into this world, they tug on your heart, right? Because you're like, oh, my God, my baby. But as they get older, it's your soul that they pull, because every pain that they go through, you hurt. You know, it hurts. So this to me, again, it's an important day, but it's every day. So that's how I think of it.
Right.
We give that unconditional love, good, bad, or indifferent. We give that unconditional love, agape love, as they would say, you know. It's so powerful. I love it. I love it. I'm thankful for it. And again, even though there are mothers out there that did not physically give birth, you are appreciated. You are appreciated. You are welcomed. You're loved, you know, because the world needs us. The world needs more of us to understand that. And we need more people in this world, especially men that's, you know, in their suits and their officers want to dictate on how our bodies should be treated, you know. So
that's exactly right. The interview that I was referring to was an interview that took place in 1973, and it was Bill Moyers sitting down with Maya Angelou, Dr. Maya Angelou, for a conversation on life, race, and belonging. And you can watch the full video on YouTube, and it is by Hezekiah News and Film. Hezekiah News and Film. And it's a conversation, as I said before, with Maya Angelou, and it's Bill Moyers' Journal 132. You should check it out. American Archive of Public Broadcasting would also have this video. But now, in the video, and Maya Angelou was known for discussing these types of things, covering these types of things where she would speak of all of the good and the bad of belonging, of being, of the woman, of being, right? Listen to what I said, of the woman, of being. The woman the woman and being, the black woman and being, that is a very, very important topic. Call in today, 813-239-9663. 813-239-9663. Mothers, if you want to, please, we want to hear from you today. And we do want to talk about, if anybody wants to call in, you may please call in and let's talk about mothers who saved our lives, mothers who saved our lives. You know, I go back and I think about my own father, right? And the fact that he had to run from a lynch mob in Georgia. It was his grandmother who saved him. But not to a degree. She went and mothers would go and they would plead. And because of the service that they did for these folks, these oppressors, because of the service that they had done to those oppressors and the work and the fact that they had breastfed them or nursed them or worked for them when they were children and growing up. And I remember old Nanny. Nanny was there, and Annie used to do this, that, and the other, and take care of us and everything. Well, I tell you what, boys, y'all leave them alone. Leave them alone. Get your hands off of them. Got the rope around his neck. Right? Now, in my dad's case, he was gone. He was out. He was in the next county, and my great-grandfather sent him out to New York immediately because the sheriff knew him from both counties. There was no hiding him. Right? So they got him out of there and got him to New York. But, you know, when Grandma Susie found out what happened, she had already gone to the mayor's house. And she spoke to the mayor. And the mayor called him off. That's a true story. That's a true story. You know, we have dozens of movies like this. Dozens of movies. And sometimes they don't end well. Tyler Perry's most recent movie, I think, spoke to that. I think it was called Jazz Man's Blues. Is that what it was called, I think?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was called Jazz Man's Blues. And it was the story of a young man, a jazz family, not a jazz family, excuse me, a musically talented family, two brothers and a father who were talented musicians, but they were in Georgia, South Georgia, in the early 1900s. And the brothers were at odds, and the father abandoned the family, went to Chicago, and the two brothers stayed behind, and the mother was the only thing that kept everything together, except that one son got caught in the rat race and drugs and things of the early years of heroin, and the other one did not. And he tried his best to keep his brother straight, and he fought with him constantly and came back home. He was in love with a girl who was passing for white. They were in love with each other. And in the end, it doesn't turn out well. You can imagine how that turns out, right? Dozens and dozens of stories like that. But there's a mother there. The core of that story, they have to go back and see about Mama because they hadn't heard from Mama. They had not heard from Mama. You look at the story of Queen, Alex Haley's great-grandmother, I think it is. Either his great-grandmother or his grandmother, who was a slave, right? She was passing for white. She was the daughter of her master. and she ended up on her own after the war. And after the war, she's out. The war being the Civil War. After the war, she's out on her own and is born a child at the hands of her former master, and ends up marrying a black man who was a early year revolutionary, and he ends up being killed. She sees it. She knows. She knows what's going to happen. She tells him not to go out there and do what he's about to do. He does it, and she has to withstand that pain. And that pain carries over to her own child, son, or sons, both of them. And she spends a lifetime trying to protect them.
That's what mothers do. You know, you got me sitting up here thinking. You got me sitting up here thinking. I said, that's what... Can you hear me?
Yes.
I said, you have me sitting up here thinking. I love H-Town, and they have a song called Natural Woman. And I'm thinking about today, we know it's the 10th, today's mathematics, how all of this, as they say, comes full circle, which is a cipher, right? And that's what it is. When you look at the supreme wisdom, you know, for the 5% nation and so forth, you know, that's how they look at it, called the cipher. It's like the original woman who gives life and is continued and completed because, of course, life comes through the womb, you know. And I'm sitting up here, you're talking, and you're saying how the mother's fighting. That's what we do. That's just what we do, you know. And that song, Natural Woman, if you can find an ability, if we're able to play it, I would love to hear that. That'll have me smiling for the rest of the day. It's going to be playing in my house. Okay? But understand what, you know, that cipher means, you know. It's full circle. It's full circle, you know, and then that's why they refer to it. And as always, guys, I always tell you the 1, 2, 3s: knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. You know, so today is the 10th. You know, that is literally full circle. And the only reason I always reiterate some of these things is because I appreciate, you know, that these days are acknowledged. But I reiterated so many times as far as Black History Month and, you know, Mother's Day, because we are this every day. We are Black every day. We are women every day. That strength, that power, that fact, it does not leave us. We wake up in the morning, we look in the mirror, we see that Black woman looking back at us, that strong Black woman looking back at us. As children, we go through pain, we go through successes, we go through trials, tribulations, all of that. We turn to who? Our mother, to celebrate it. Think of Michael B. Jordan. You know, how he publicly states he was intentionally not in a relationship and so forth because he wanted to make sure his mother was his first priority. He made sure he took care of her first. It's so many stories that I'm pretty sure, I hope we get, our callers do call in and talk about it. Because when you take on that role, intentionally or unintentionally, because sometimes those parental things fall in place when you least expect it if you did not actually give birth. But when you take on that title and that role, that's a gift. That's a gift. You know, when you look at our animals, that sometimes the world take more precedent over humans, they look at the animals, and you see the litters that's being delivered. My bearded dragon, how many? 16. Okay, 16. You know, just imagine that. And Red got loose, which is the dad. He got loose, Walter, for 2 days. I forgot to tell you that. For 2 days, I went out to the cage. I did. I went out to my cage. I was like, Red is gone. I was like, what's wrong, my granny? What's wrong? Red is gone. Charlene's still here. Why she did not escape and follow him, I don't know. But I'm saying to myself, I can't believe you left home, Red. You left her by herself. I'm having a whole conversation. Okay? Whole conversation.
With a lizard, y'all. With a lizard.
They're not lizards. They're bearded dragons, and they're my babies, okay?
Oh, my God.
But I'm having whole conversations. And I'm talking to Charlene. I'm like, it's okay. You know what? He's coming back. I can't believe he got out. And I'm like, who left the cage open? I'm going through my cameras, Walter, saying, did somebody come in my backyard? and take my baby? I'm so,
my
and you
God.
know I got gate. It's gates. My daughter's like, Mom, I don't know. I would not have left the gate open, but he found a way. He got out, right? Nevertheless. So for 2 days, I'm sitting up here saying, Red, everyone I go to Red, where you at, Red? Still no Red. Still no Red. So to make Charlene feel better, I went and got her some extra worms and all kinds of stuff, trying to talk to her, because she just looked like she was just in there by herself. And like I told you, nobody wants to be alone. But they kept telling me, you can't put these predatory animals together. But when I seen you pictures of how he lets her climb on his back and all kinds of stuff, they were meant to be there together. Anyway, yesterday morning, before I was leaving the house to take Dante to his basketball game. Listen, I was going to take him to his basketball game. My daughter screamed, Mommy! So I'm thinking she called me because she see, a bug or something or whatever. I'm like, what? Red, is that Red? I went outside and I was like, you could hear me screaming, he came home.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, oh, he came home. I grabbed him, I picked him up, and I put him in a cage and Charlene. I said, you only came home because you was hungry.
Wow.
I said, you only came home because you was hungry. I bet your butt won't leave again. It was so funny. But I celebrated him.
Mother said that.
That is what a mother was saying back.
Right.
That's what a mother said. What you want to eat, babe? What you want to eat?
Exactly. And I did. I went and got them some crickets and some more worms. And I said, y'all can have a party today. And it just made me so happy. So, yes. All that just jumped to my mind when you was talking. Yes. Oh, my goodness. Well, yes, that made my day. That made my day. It did. I wanted to share it with my listeners. It just came up in my heart that quick as we was talking. So, yes. All right. Go ahead.
Well, I am so glad it's a beautiful, beautiful Sunday morning, and I gotta tell you, I have so many mother figures. But first, let me start by saying Happy Mother's Day to my mother, Attorney Geraldine Williams. Love you, Mom. Happy Mother's Day to my wife and my everything, Yolanda Rodriguez Smith, who was the mother of my children and the grandmother of my grandchildren, and the one who keeps this house, this farm, as we call it, the farm, together. Funny thing, and happy Mother's Day to my sister, who was an auntie mom, to my sister-in-laws, Teresa and Lisa, to my nieces, and to all the mothers out there, nieces and cousins, everybody. It's just to all of you. I love you so much. I love the roles that you play. I love who you are and everything that you do. Just thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And can I thank you enough? It is amazing, absolutely amazing, when we hear the words that are so poetic, but so very true. And that is when they say, we love you, Black woman, mother of the universe. Mother of the universe. What a title.
Huh.
What a title. Right? The woman alone, just the woman alone. Woman alone just is an amazing creation of God. This is an absolute major, wonderful, beautiful creation of God. Amazing. And when you think of the fact that you guys you house and incubate life, and it comes forward from you. As painful as it is, but as real as is the connectivity, the symbolism that has been that is derived from you in literature because of the poetic the poetic nature of your very bodies, of your very being. That alone is amazing. Absolutely amazing. And nothing, listen, you can hear the stories about your own birth all you want to, but as a father, nothing, absolutely nothing hits you harder or reality of a life of manhood, and usually it doesn't quite hit some men, but nothing of the very life of man, the very being of manhood and in your own mortality doesn't really sink in until a woman gives birth to your child. Until a woman gives birth to your child or children, your own mortality doesn't even sink in, truthfully, until that very moment. And it is amazing. Absolutely amazing.
You know, when your mom comes on and tell us how much pain you put her through, I'm going to laugh because I can only imagine with that big head of yours, and then you coming out feet first. So you've been causing trouble from the moon. That's just terrible. That's
exactly what you're going to hear. That's exactly the story you're going to hear.
I'm looking forward to hearing that story.
And my head ain't that damn big.
Yeah, okay, anyway. I want to give a shout-out also to my Aunt Kat. You know, I love my Aunt Kat, so happy Mother's Day, Aunt Kat. And Aunt Kat is now a grandma because her daughter, my cousin Jasmine, she gave birth, so happy Mother's Day. Happy first Mother's Day, cousin Jasmine. I love you guys so much. They're in North Carolina, so I don't get to see them often, but definitely want to give them that shout-out.
All right. You know, in just a few minutes, I want to talk about something else that we've talked about several times on this show. We've had shows specifically about it, and I do want to touch on it. Not touch on it, but talk about it, right? Do we have any calls?
Yes.
Okay, let's go to the calls, and we'll talk about this subject in a little bit. Let's go to the calls.
Okay, go ahead, caller. You're on the Sunday Forum.
Good morning, caller in the air.
Hello?
Yes.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to the Sunday Forum.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning, Eduardo.
Good morning.
Yeah, I won't be able to call your show tomorrow, but the reason is because I'm going to be starting a job in HCA Brandon tomorrow. Never worked in a hospital, so I'll be a transporter. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my birthday, too, so good timing.
All right, happy birthday.
All right, happy birthday, man.
Oh, happy birthday, yes.
Yeah, I got 10 minutes here, so I'll make it quicker because I got the 9 a.m. service. I saw that story on Bartow where they were training teams to be air traffic controllers. That is a great thing.
Yeah.
And there's like 6 more that are going to be doing this program. And this is great. I mean, air traffic control is good career, good money. So that's a great story to hear. So
yeah, it's an outstanding thing.
Yeah, I hope they can bring something like that over here in Tampa, too. I mean, it should be everywhere.
It should. You're right. You're absolutely right about that, Eduardo.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So everybody out there who's capable of teaching that or bring that here, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind.
Yeah. I'll answer your question about mothers helping their sons or daughters. Mine isn't on the severity, but my dad was an alcoholic, so he wasn't exactly around the house. And I lived on the south side where there was like, gangs and all that. And I think she instilled good values in me and my younger brother. And this is why, we're not into that lifestyle. So let's put it that way. So thank you, Mother. And, hopefully we have more mothers that are, putting good values in our sons and daughters.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for taking my call.
Hey, man.
Okay.
Thank you, brother. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Are there others?
Nope, that's it.
All right. So now let's talk about this. We have an organization here in Tampa, which is the Black Nurses Organization, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that is a very, very important organization. And last week, I think it was, I gave a shout out to the organization because of who they are and what they did for the medical society, right? And the Black Nurses Association is so important because it was these women who, through their profession, saved lives in ways that we can never even imagine. They were the last hope, quite often, to saving lives. Medications, medicines, methodologies of surgery, and things like that were actually passed down and taught to even white physicians. This is the truth, right? So let me go back to something before we even get to Black nurses. Let's talk about the mothers, right? Who were, or the Black female body, and how the Black female body was used in science. Just think about that for a moment. How the Black female body was used in science, and that history quite often has been either never talked about or suppressed, right? You have people like Dr. Joy DeGruy. Do you know? Does anybody know? You guys know that name?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Joy DeGruy. She's one of my favorite people. I actually called her office last year. I called her office to try to get her to come on to the show. And I'm going to get her. I am going to get this lady, and I'm going to get her on this show, either in person or by phone. By hook or by crook, one way or the other, I'm going to get her on this show. She is one of my favorite people. I don't even know this lady, but I feel like I do. I don't know this lady, but I feel like I do. Her discussions are so poignant, so guided, I feel, by the hand of God. The first time I ever saw her lecture was totally by mistake. Totally by mistake. I was looking for something regarding PTSD and the trauma that the concept of whether or not PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, was something that could be passed down genetically. Right? And there's this theory that is the case. And she's one of the people who contributed to that study. And they found that, in fact, it is genetic. It can be genetically passed. And it has been genetically passed, especially and most famously, so to speak, around in the Black community. Right? That's how much trauma we've endured. Right? And so she was talking about the different ways that post-traumatic stress disorder was passed down from the treatment. And let me just tell you, this isn't just treatment from slavery. It's the treatment of being, listen to what I'm saying. It's a treatment of what happened in the passageway of becoming enslaved.
Right. She called it the post-traumatic slave syndrome. So, and she does go into detail. And I've heard her quite a few times, so you're correct.
That's correct. Think about it now. It is. And for those people who've never done this before, I have. But you must. You see, people are always talking about how that's nothing. Or you got people out there that's nothing. Or probably, and it's just white people, of course, they always want to minimize what happened to us.
Mm-hmm.
They want to minimize what happened to us. That is not, but put them in that same situation and see what happens. Right? They don't like that too much. Right? And they come out crying. Just off the first hit of the whip. They'll start crying. The first hit of the whip, they'll start crying. Right? You put a chain on them, they'll start crying. Right? Let that door slam shut behind them. They'll start crying. But if you've ever gone to any of these countries along, and this is the shame of this entire thing, our passageway. And I've said this before many times, and I've made a point of saying that I believe and I consider us that even though we are citizens of the United States, so to speak, and I'll continue to say that because of what has happened recently with the Voting Rights Act. That was disgusting, by the way, and we're gonna touch on that because everybody else has talked about it, right? I want to find an angle to address it so that we can really have some real conversation. When we talk about stripping a person of their humanity, that is trauma, the likes of which most people have never understood. Never understood it. Now, for instance, I'll give you an example of something. So, in Africa, slavery or being enslaved did not have the same connotation. You were a prisoner of war. If you were a prisoner of war, you were brought to another country or another village, and you were assimilated into that village. But your name was your name. You kept your name. You kept your language if you wanted to. You can practice your religion the way you wanted to practice your religion. But you were who you were. And you weren't killed for it. You could learn to read because it was a valued thing, and it was okay to do that.
30 seconds before the break.
Okay, thank you, sir. And we're gonna come right back to it. We're gonna come right back to it when we come back to the Sunday Forum this morning, and we talk about motherhood and black motherhood and our humanity here on the Sunday Forum. We'll be right back.
Mother of Jesus, here is white snow. She's so
live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Windsor Johnston. Passengers aboard the Dutch cruise ship tied to the deadly hantavirus outbreak are making their way back to their home countries for evaluation. The vessel arrived near Spain's Canary Islands today, where public health officials coordinated medical screenings and charter flights for people leaving the ship. NPR's Miguel Macias reports from Seville.
The MV Hondius cruise ship arrived early Sunday at a seldom-used port in Tenerife, the largest island of the archipelago. It did not dock and it will remain at a distance. Medical staff are evaluating passengers on board, who will then be transported in small groups to the port. From there to the airport, about 10 minutes away, where they will be flown to their countries of origin. Authorities are reporting none of the passengers are showing symptoms. The first group to disembark are 14 Spanish citizens who will be flown to Madrid. The complex operation involving the Spanish army and 2 national ministries has caused a political firestorm in Spain, with the central government taking measures to overrule the opposition of local authorities. Miguel Macías, NPR News, Seville, Spain.
It's been nearly 10 weeks since the U.S. and Israel launched strikes on Iran and about a month since the ceasefire temporarily halted the fighting. NPR's Deepa Shivaram reports tensions between the two countries remain high.
President Trump said he's waiting on a response from Iran, and in the meantime, he's still threatening to continue bombing Iran if they don't agree to the U.S. proposal to end the war. Since then, throughout the course of this past week, the U.S. conducted strikes on Iran because they say 3 U.S. Navy ships came under Iranian attack unprovoked. Iran, on their part, says the U.S. started that violence. It was the first round of strikes that really took place since that ceasefire was negotiated weeks ago, but at this point, things still kind of seem at a standstill of not really getting a lot worse, but also no end to the war anytime soon.
That's NPR's Deepa Shivaram reporting. Finances at the U.S. Postal Service are still on shaky ground. NPR's Hansi Lo Wang says the self-funded agency is reporting a net loss for the 5th quarter in a row.
The Postal Service relies on stamps and service fees, not tax dollars, to deliver mail 6 days a week to just about every address in the country. But with people sending a lot less mail than past decades, USPS ended this fiscal year's 2nd quarter with a net loss of $2 billion. Postmaster General David Steiner says USPS has already raised shipping prices, cut workers' hours, and stopped payments to its pension plan.
The Postal Service remains in a serious financial crisis. I communicated that plainly in front of Congress and our country in March, because I don't think that we serve anyone if we soften these realities.
Steiner says Congress should change laws to let the Postal Service borrow more money and reform its retirement plans. Hansi Lo Wang, NPR News.
This is NPR News in Washington. Jewish leaders in Britain have invited some of the country's top politicians to what they're calling a Million Mensch March against anti-Semitism. Vicky Barker reports from London.
Religious leaders and civic organizations from across the UK have signed an open letter calling anti-Semitism in Britain, quote, a problem for all of us to fix. In it, faith leaders from the Christian, Muslim, Hindu, Sikh, and Zoroastrian communities tell British Jews, quote, this country belongs to you as much as any of us. Jewish groups have called for the silent majority to join them today in a rally in London called Standing Strong, Extinguish Anti-Semitism. This after a series of hate crimes against Jews in the UK, most recently a stabbing attack in North London 11 days ago that left 2 Jewish men injured. For NPR News, I'm Vicky Barker in London.
Baseball Hall of Famer and legendary Atlanta Braves manager Bobby Cox has died at the age of 84. Cox led the Braves to 14 consecutive division titles and a World Series championship in 1995 during one of baseball's most dominant eras. He finished his managerial career with more than 2,500 wins, the 4th most in Major League Baseball history. Cox was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2014 and was widely respected for helping build the Braves dynasty of the 1990s and early 2000s. This is NPR News.
Support for NPR comes from NPR stations. Other contributors include FJC, a foundation of donor-advised funds working to maximize the impact of charitable giving and to create customized philanthropic solutions. Learn more at fjc.org.
Different on purpose. You're tuned to Mission Driven, listener-supported WMNF Tampa.
Ever wish that you could time travel? Well, with WMNF, you can. To listen back to your favorite shows, just go to WMNF.org or the WMNF app. Click on the broadcast schedule under programming and boom, time travel. Go to any show to hear the latest and greatest at any time. It's like DVR, but for your radio, where music, news, and culture collide. WMNF.org and the WMNF app.
Now you don't have to wait till 9 a.m. to hear Democracy Now! You can hear it every morning at 8 a.m. on our HD3 channel, The Source. You can hear it online at WMNF.org/listen. That's Democracy Now! Weekday mornings at 8 a.m. on WMNF's The Source and 9 a.m. on our main channel. And it's replayed on The Source at 5 p.m. every weekday afternoon.
Want to hear what one listener called the most disrespectful show he's heard in 20 years?
Join Donna, Liz, and Amina at 10 a.m. on Thursdays for Surly Voices.
A fresh, fun, feminist take on current events, politics, and social justice.
Slaying the patriarchy, one show at a time.
Surly Voices, Thursday at 10 a.m. on WMNF 88.5 and WMNF.org.
Right now, you're tuned to the Sunday Forum.
They made a demon out of me. Then they put a cross to my face. They put a circus out for me. 'Cause I got some blood on my hands. But they would see me when I'm coming. I'll be laughing while you're running. Oh, you won't see me when I'm coming. I'll be the monster you've been wanting. They made a story out of me. They laugh and joke about my name. They put a bounty out of me. They're all excited by my shame. But they would see me when I'm coming. I'll be laughing while you're running. Oh, you won't see me when I'm coming. I'll be the monster you've been wanting.
You can call us 813-239-9663. Walter and Annie is here on the Sunday Forum on Mother's Day.
Welcome to the Sunday Forum again. If you had not joined us in the first hour, we are talking about motherhood, black motherhood in particular, black women, the mothers of the universe, the traumatic stress disorder that has been passed down from generation to generation genetically amongst our people. And the studies that were done regarding this topic, very important information, and it is so poignant given the types of things that we're faced with right now here in the United States and globally, where we see our women. It's very, very important that we take a look at this, take a deeper dive on today's show. But before we begin, let me do some house cleaning. First thing, we have this week is wow. You know, and I don't even think I even said this to you yet. But May 14th and May 13th, right? We mark as my father's birthday, right? And the reason we say May 13th or May 14th is because of how my father was born. My father was born on Constant Street, which is right there off of Central, in historic Central, here in Tampa. And there's an oak tree. There's an oak tree there where he was born in a rooming house here in Tampa. He was born either on midnight or just before midnight. And that's why he would celebrate his birthday either on the 13th of May or the 14th of May. Now, let me say, this week, as many of you may know, the Dr. Walter L. Smith Library and Museum has undergone a lot of challenges, We've been around for over 20 years now. My father established it in 2004, and it has served the community in many, many ways. And as an archive, as a place to sit and go through educational points of interest, research centers, meeting place, the whole nine. And my father's life work was on building institutions, and he brought it back home to Tampa. As many of you may know, my father was the 7th president of Florida A&M University. But he also was responsible for much of the preliminary work and the ultimate implementation of the American-style community college in the Republic of South Africa, post-apartheid. Now, he brought that second chance concept back home to Tampa and started the Dr. Walter L. Smith Library and Museum, and the storm hit. Hurricane Milton came and ripped the roof off of our main museum building. And this is after my father passed away, obviously. He passed away in 2021. And it's been a struggle. It's been a struggle to get to the point where we are now getting funding from the city of Tampa's CRA. And we are getting the final vote on the funding this Thursday. The date of this Thursday is May 14th, my father's birthday.
All right. So fingers crossed for the money.
Full circle.
Yeah. We've gotten a letter from the CRA, which the grant reward is awarded, and we now have to go through the funding vote, the final funding vote, which is on Thursday, his birthday. And so I want to invite Tampa Bay. I want to invite the folks from our community. There's a lot of people. Somebody said to me the other day, your dad's name is on a lot of people's degrees. On a lot of people's degrees. While he was president, and actually and symbolically, because there were a lot of people that dad helped to get into college and things like that. And, just helped along the way with regard to jobs and things, just a series of things. And I said, yeah, I never thought of it that way. But, we hope and pray that people will come out on Thursday at 9 a.m. to the City Hall chambers, City Council chambers, and stand in support of the Dr. Walter L. Smith Library and Museum here in Tampa. And it'll be great if we can get there, pack the house. It'll be great if we can pack the house. 9 a.m. this Thursday morning at City Hall. Okay, now, secondly, this Thursday, so this Saturday is the memorial birthday party and the groundbreaking for the library, the memorial birthday party and groundbreaking for the library. We're celebrating the life and legacy of Dr. Walter L. Smith, and the groundbreaking is for the renovations of the campus of the Dr. Walter L. Smith Library and Museum here in Tampa. And so we hope that people will come out for the groundbreaking, which will be at 10 a.m. this Saturday morning at 905 North Albany Avenue, this Saturday morning at 905 North Albany Avenue at 10 a.m. The public is invited to come out and celebrate with us from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The groundbreaking ceremony begins at 10, and we will wrap everything up at 2 p.m. from the actual birthday ceremony, a birthday celebration. So we hope that people come out and celebrate with us, and it will be great fun. If you've ever been to anything that we've done out there, you know that in that courtyard, a lot of things have happened, and we've had great fun and fellowship there. So So that's for that. Now, if you want more information, you can go to WLSmithLibrary.org. WLSmithLibrary.org. You can go there, make a donation to the Dr. Walter L. Smith Library. You can go there and buy merchandise from the Dr. Walter Smith Library, but there's information there about these events. Now, the third thing that's happening on Thursday, May 21st. Thursday, May 21st, at the Reed Apartments, the Sierra Club is hosting the Ratepayers Power Watch. The Ratepayers Power Watch. We deserve transparency and we deserve relief. This is the 6th annual Ratepayers Power Watch, where at the Reed Apartments from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., we get to watch and discuss and strategize on methods of action to relieve and to come to some agreements about what can be done about the rising cost of energy bills that we're faced with right now. Everybody's going through it. We need to make sure that TECO knows that we know that there's something wrong, and that TECO knows that we are demanding the transparency of their actions and things that are going on, and so you get a chance to actually sit there and watch the meeting, the Emera meeting. Emera is the mother company of Tampa Electric Company, and you get to hear the things that they discuss. Andy, you've been there before, have you not?
I have.
I have been there, yes.
You've been there, Billy, you've been there, yeah. Both of you have been there, I think, right?
Yeah.
And the response is tremendous. The response is tremendous. People learn something every single time they get there, every single year. And this is 6 years running. And it's from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Thursday, the 21st of May, at the Reed Apartments, which is located at 1240 Ray Charles Boulevard, 1240 Ray Charles Boulevard, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And we'll be going over strategies of action to take after the meeting. Okay? Did y'all have any comments about these?
I did. I do want to say at those events you do learn a whole lot. It's very informative, and it makes you start to, empower yourself to be more involved on what's going on around you, not just with your TECO bill, but the environment and everything. So there's a lot of information, and I'm saying it to our listeners specifically, it's a lot of information you'll be able to pull out of there to help you with some circumstances that you may be going on because of how high TECO bill has become. I want to give a shout out, Walter, to you and Mobility. So this past weekend, I believe it was either Thursday or Friday, WNF was awarded the Silver Medallion, and I was at that event. And I just want to tell you and Mobility that your shows were featured there.
All right.
As being one of the reasons that WNF received that medallion. And I want to make sure you guys got your shout out, because so often so many things happen in the community regarding WNF, and you guys don't always know. You played and play a major part in the success of WNF. So I want you guys to be aware of that. So shout out to you for that. The other thing I want to do, absolutely.
They really like us.
They really like you. When I saw it, I was like, hey, I saw Petro Mobility, and I'm like, Walter L. Smith, something. I know those guys, okay? I know those people. So I just wanted to give you your flowers on that. One of the other things they did there, we've had a lot of issues here with books being banned, and they did give a celebration shout out to Gwendolyn Harris. We know she's passed. Her daughter donated some books that had been banned, and we were able to take a few. So for those that gave donations and whatnot. So 3 of the books that was at our table was White Poverty, okay, was one of them. Yeah. And the author of that book, I actually met him in person as well. But it was White Poverty. There's 2 other ones. I'll think of it before the show is over. But I just want to say shout out to her daughter for doing that, because these were books that were banned, and you didn't know what book you were going to get. It was wrapped up in brown paper. So you just, grabbed one, and then we found out what it was. But all the books that was there were books that were van either from the library or from the school. So I thought that was very important that she was willing to do that. So my last shout out.
Very good. Very good.
Annie, I'm always in the community, and I'm always looking at and watching out for people that kind of like go above and beyond, their normal service. And it's for the mothers. Celebrate yourself. Celebrate yourself. Do something special today for yourself. I don't care if it's a quiet walk, if it's you just taking yourself to breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever. But celebrate yourself. Find time just for you, because we all deserve that. And if you are a working mother, which I'm pretty sure I'm speaking to the choir, most of us are, buy yourself something. Buy yourself something you would not normally do, because we're so busy worrying about making sure the bills is paid and there's food in the house and so on and so forth. Treat yourself to something extra, because of this day is for you, because every day throughout the year you're taking care of everyone else. And I'm saying that because I chose to do that this time. And I got myself a new vehicle.
All right.
It's clear.
Oh, right.
I'm very frugal, and I'm all about saving money, okay? I'm all about saving money.
Oh.
So, to all of my listeners out there, mothers or not, whoever's out there that purchasing a vehicle, we know the economy is extremely tight right now. Take accountability and be absolute on what you can afford and what you cannot, and you make sure that person that you're purchasing a vehicle from, that dealership, they know that. You saying, I know. Why are you saying this? Let me tell you why I'm saying this. You want to know? Here you go. I'm saying this because you will be treated the way you allow yourself to be treated. Okay, I'm serious. You will be treated the way you allow yourself to be treated. So I did not purchase in Hillsborough County. I went to Newport Richey. And I went out there and I got excellent customer service. And I'm saying it because I don't like purchasing online. I'm one of those people, I can't buy my clothes, my shoes, or anything else online and have it shipped to me. I need to see it to make sure this is what I want. Because if I do that and I don't want it, now I have to go through the hassle of sending it back. So they were going to deliver me the car, and I said, nah, I'm going to come out there. And when I got out there and I spoke to the gentleman, I explained to him why. I said, if you guys would have bought it to me and I didn't like it, you'd have had to take it back. So I'm saving you and me some trouble. I came out there, I saw it, and I'm like, yeah, nope, this is not what I wanted. This is not what I wanted. And he did not handle me as a car salesman. He handled me with respect by listening to what I was saying and understand that I stood 10 toes down on what I knew I wanted. Okay? So I want to give a shout-out to Jimmy. I want to give a shout-out to Maury. We call him Tim. I want to give out to Sean. Shout out to Sean, because all of them worked together to make sure I left as a happy customer. I left very happy. So that's why I'm saying what I'm saying to you guys. Take the time to be accountable for who you are, for what you want, and you will get it because it's rightfully due. So I am a mother. I celebrated myself to a new car, and I want to thank Hyundai of Newport Richey for helping me do that. Again, shout out to Jimmy, Sean, and Tamari or Tim. I appreciate everything you guys did to make sure I left very happy. Those are my shout outs for today.
All right. Yeah. Well, mobility take notes.
Gotta be intentional. Got to be intentional.
Right? The car thing.
The car thing.
So listen, let me tell you guys, I am really, really touched by today's subject, big time. I really am. Because I've seen so many things that women go through regarding these traumas, right? I can talk about men and the traumas, but right now today we're talking about women and mothers in particular.
Father's Day is coming next month.
We got you. Baby.
No, man. Let me tell you. I remember the trauma, the things I used to put my mom through. I mean, when I say the things I used to put my mom through, I wasn't a bad kid. I didn't get in trouble like that. I just didn't. But whatever. My mama said I was not a bad kid. But But no, I didn't get, I wasn't one of those kids that got whippings, like eternal whippings all the time. You know what I mean? I got my fair share. But, when I remember being out late at night and my mom being just sitting up, some nights, worried about me. Just worried. It's not to say that nobody else's moms go through this. I'm not talking about that.
You didn't even call?
There were times when I didn't realize that my mother was up. Like, I was out. It wasn't anything new. It's just my mother was up. And she was just worried about, I could have called all I wanted to, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter. There were things that were happening and I didn't realize how serious it was. I did not realize it. And most of us don't, oh, Mom, everything's going to be fine. And we're thinking we're going to, we're okay. We're gonna, nothing's going to happen to us. We're all right.
That's because you're young and you think you're indestructible and you're going to live forever.
Yeah. And that feeling is one that is, for us, we can very easily say, oh, that's just selfish. But we're not thinking about it. We're not thinking that, because we're not thinking our mothers are under this duress. We don't know this, right? We're just doing what we know to do. Hey, Mom, I'm going to the store. Hey, Mom, I'm going this place. I'm going that place. If my son gets in the car to drive down the street, my wife is on high alert. And like I said, I'm not talking about me. I'm already on high alert. Man, listen, I stay on high alert. Right. But my wife,
and because
Yolanda is on high daggone alert.
I know people who are in their 30s that if they had a car accident, the first thing they're going to do is what? Call Mom.
That's right.
Call Mom. Yeah. Call Mom. Call my mom. Call my mom. He's not in the hospital. Call my mom. They didn't say call my daddy. Call my mom. And Dad is there. Dad is there. And for the record, by the way, the CDC reports, and I just want to make sure I make this clear, that the black man is more in the lives of his family than any other fathers anywhere else. That's the CDC reports that, by the way. Those people want to dismiss the presence or talk about how black fathers are not in the lives of their families. Yeah, we're in the lives of our families and our children more than any other male in the U.S. So take that. Now let's go back to it. I just want to make sure. I get tired of people always wanting to put us down. Don't put me down. I know what's going on in my house, man. But no, we don't think about it. We didn't think about it, and the trauma that goes with that is something that people say, oh, it's not passed down. Yeah, it is passed down. It is passed down. And any mother could feel that way. Any mother can feel that way. But again, I'd say I'm not talking about any mother. I'm talking about black women right now. I'm talking about black women. And there is a long, long history of there being very good reasons as to why that is the case. Do you hear what I said? There's a very good reason as to why that's the case. And white America has given us that reason. The white world has given us that reason. Right? As late as the night, as late as now, right now, people being tied to trees, people being found mysteriously hanging from trees, all these things. Hey, man, this kid was in a Walmart. I think it was in Tennessee. It might have been. Hey, they find him hanging from a tree. Yeah. What reason would he have to hang himself? That's the one thing. Let me tell you something. If you find a black man and he hangs himself, there's going to be a track record of something wrong with him.
And I doubt he hang himself in public.
Right, that part.
Yeah, man.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's no misunderstanding something's wrong. But no, when you see a black man, a black child even, that would hang themselves, something is seriously wrong. You best believe that's a murder. Somebody did that to him. No self-respecting, and this is the tough part, no self-respecting black person would hang themselves knowing the history of what's happening. And we know the history. We know the history.
But they're busy trying to erase history of what our young people know.
Mm-hmm.
But Walter, you raised a very important issue before the break, and that was black women's bodies. And it's a good time to remind ourselves about this so-called doctor, a pioneer of gynecology, in that he performed on enslaved women. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Without anesthesia, by the way.
Without anesthesia, right? The so-called father of gynecology, right? Where to begin? So when I was in South Carolina and we were reporting from South Carolina, it was, if you go downtown and you drive down the street in downtown, right in front of the Capitol building is a huge statue of a man by the name of J. Marion Sims. And he's known as the father of gynecology. Now, for all you ladies out there, going to the gynecologist is not fun. Not fun. I don't know when going to a doctor is fun.
I was going to say that, but continue. Like when going to the doctor fun.
Right. J. Marion Sims is known as the father of gynecology. And there's a huge statue of him in front of the Capitol building there in South Carolina, in Columbia, South Carolina. There are there are counties named after this man. Schools, everything, all that, right? Okay, so what he did was he would do experiments on black women without anesthesia on their genitalia. Okay? And he would actually do these experiments sometimes in front of other people. Okay? The name of these women was Lucy, Betsy, and Anarcha. Right? I think it was Anarcha, but I know it starts with, Anarcha. It was Anarcha. Okay. And between the years of about 1850, I think it was, and 1845 and 1849. Between those years, he did these experiments, and he actually would take these women and do these experiments privately and in front of other people. And they were enslaved women, and they did it without anesthesia. Now, he was able to create instruments of gynecology by trial and error with these women. Now, let me say it again. Trial and error. How do you do trial and error? Why didn't you take some white woman and do that? That's a question I would have had. Why didn't you just take some white woman and do that? They have the same body parts as a black woman does. Right? Am I right or wrong?
You're right, but that would have included consent from the white woman. They didn't need consent from an enslaved woman, just consent from her master.
Right. Now, which brings me to the point that here another trauma is that we and our women in particular were stripped of their humanity, not just biologically, not just physically, but by name and by action. There were things done that said, I am not a human being. I am not a human being. They could take my child. If I were to have children, then they could take my child, speaking from the perspective of the black woman. They could take my child. There's no other woman on the face of the earth who had this happen. They can take my child because they feel like it. And as I'm having my children, they can sell them right there from up under me. They can sell my kids for a grip, as we call it, to pay off a debt. Or I can lay down in the bed and have sex with a man from the neighboring plantation who I've never met, don't know. They don't care. Why? Because we're as good as dogs, as good as nothing.
They also believe that black people didn't feel as much pain. That was another justification.
Yeah.
What they did.
Yeah. And that's pain both, again, going back, there's pain both physical, psychological, and spiritual.
No, but also associate what Billy said. Associate what Billy said, because they say the same thing about animals. And that's the part that's sad. For them to say, just because we're black, let's be clear now, just because we're black, we don't feel that same type of pain. And doing surgery or whatever the case may be, which will be, of course, the reason for them not using any anesthesia or anything like that. These women, unfortunately, have to go through this. But to make sure they're feeling everything that's happening to them, or they don't feel pain like that, so it's okay. We don't need to make sure, to reduce it. That's the same thing they do with animals sometimes, because they say they don't feel the same pain as humans do.
Right.
That's sad. Right. Just think about that.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. And they call this guy the father of gynecology and hero. Hey, come on, man. He wasn't a hero. There's nothing heroic about what he did.
Well, if it's any...
And so... Go ahead, Mobili. Go ahead, please.
Oh, I don't mean to cut you off, but it's just so much information. The statue you mentioned, the statue was removed. The Philadelphia statue was moved into storage, and the statue in Central Park was removed in April of 2018.
Yes.
South Carolina, that's a different story.
Still there. Right? And I just, honestly, man, the concept of the inhumanity of a black woman has passed down from generation to generation, even up until now. And it was easy to betray the black woman. It was easy to experiment on the black woman. It's easy to take her children, watch this, to take her children and do with them as you wish. And this is passed down, I say this again, this is passed down from generation to generation. So to take your child or children, your picnic, as they call them, the pickaninnies, and sell them. But you never seeing them again. There are records of women who testify, who not necessarily testified, but actually spoke on record. Former slaves who said they had 15 head of children and all but one was sold. Right from up under them at the time of birth. This is, and then, so no, if we can't sell them, what do? We kill them. So it's moved from selling them, let's put them on drugs, let's experiment, let's kill them. And these mothers have to watch, sit there and they watch and they fight. And they're like, no, they protect their children. They don't want to see, no mother wants to see that happen. Right. But they're forced to have children from rape. They're forced to have children for sale. They're forced to have children now in situations where the police gets, depending on where you are and who these officers are, they just see a kid, we're just gonna kill him. This is because they're no better than animals. They're subhuman, and that is not okay. That is not okay, because that same concept is the prevailing. There's been a long prevailing concept of black people, but of women in particular. The prevailing concept of black people, but of black women in particular. And I challenge anybody to say anything different. Anybody to say anything different. Look at how they treat our, it doesn't matter. And please understand what I'm saying to you. It doesn't matter if you're educated or if you're not educated. You're a human being.
Right.
You're a human being.
But
look at what they. Oh, God, it's sick. No, it's just sick. It's sick. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. What they did to Sarah Baartman. Oh, yeah. Out of South Africa. Does anybody know that story?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cut up her body
parts. The very reason that they have those beautiful gowns that came, the long flowing gowns that were bunched up in the back, was because white women were trying to. They had the dresses that were designed in the form, in the rear, the derriere portion, like Sarah Baartman. Their breasts the cleavage of the breast line was exposed in order to accentuate that part. Just like the derriere was because of Sarah Baartman.
Yeah, she had the body all out in the boot and everything. I'm looking at the picture of it now. Yeah, that's crazy.
And they took her around Europe to show her around, and when she died, they cut off her body parts.
Mm-hmm.
To show how she was, what her build was. They took her body around first, and they took the body parts. This is what they've done.
And they publicly said basically it was a freak show. They literally put it that basically she was exhibited as a freak show. Yep. Absolutely. And
white men found it to be inviting.
Yeah,
that was the whole point. It was they were showing her off like a animal in a zoo.
Let's take that same concept and let's look at how breeding. This is so sick. This is so sick, guys. Breeding or motherhood for a black woman, whether she is, and watch this, colorism, to try to breed out blackness is a dastardly concept.
It's also anti-science.
So if you couldn't control our bodies by slavery, what do? You breed us out. So you take our women, you rape them, or you take our women and you give them some false sense of security through the genre de couleur concept of being this light-skinned beauty. And what we do is we'll take you and we'll breed out lighter-skinned children. We just want to make sure that you continue to do it by law, the blanqueamiento in Latin America, and then in America, in Louisiana and places like that, you have black folks that literally have the mentality, black women who have a mentality now of passing because they want to pass, and they have the children in order to make sure that they are bred to be lighter so that they can pass and have a better life. What? This is the psychology of bleaching skin, of taking giving birth to children who happen to be dark, and you want to submerge them in skin lightening soap. This is the mentality that these people have done have placed into the minds of our women, of our mothers.
And we got some calls in. But Miss Annie, I think you were about to mention something.
No, but let's take the call. That's fine. Let's take the call.
All right. Go ahead, caller. You're on the Sunday Forum.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hello?
Caller, you're on the Sunday Forum.
Hello, caller.
Hi.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello, can you hear me okay now?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Oh, wow. Good morning. No, I apologize. This Bluetooth thing is really kind of confusing, but no, good morning. I sent a text, and I hope to express it as well as I could, but you brought me to another thought. It was 1972 when eugenics was outlawed by the federal government. And with that event, also, we see our think tanks, our right-wing extremist think tanks pop up. And then, a lot of messed up policies, you smidge in some Black Panther, WIC programming, you smidge in some of that eugenics into, medical policies and that sort of thing. And that's what we're seeing. And even today, we have this issue in Florida with imposed cesarean on what end up being often, it looks like so far, women of color in certain reports lately. So I just wanted to kind of, tag on to that extent of the whole, expansion of a continuation or attenuation of, bigoted policies and where they are. And even eugenics comes from, guess when? 1850. Okay? There's pseudoscience based on religion. A lot of doctrines popped up in the U.S., Protestant ones and otherwise. Here in the U.S., during the 1850s, people want to feel themselves out. Okay? Literally, across the continent. But, that's, in the spirit of maternity and trying to, support that and its growth and its maintenance, assisting the man, I just want to say happy Mother's Day to everybody. But, I just wanted to also add that in. But y'all have a wonderful day. Excuse me.
Thank you.
All right, y'all take it.
Thank you. Thank you, Andre.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Next call.
No, I think that's it for now, but we got a couple of emails. Okay. People are also emailing, but...
Let's see what they got to say.
Well, it looks like one is just asking about your governor, and I noticed that DeAndre was just mentioning something about women are being forced. I'm not exactly sure what he said, but that was interesting. But somebody is writing about Ron DeSantis' parents. How did they unleash him on the world? And apparently the mother is from Ohio. The father, I believe, was from Philadelphia. And they moved to Dunedin, so they were from the Rust Belt. And that's all I can give you to explain him.
Well, I
unleash him into the world.
Yeah.
I wanted to piggyback on some of the stuff that you were saying, Walter, in regards to the Sarah Baartman and also to how they basically had no respect for the woman, back in slavery and so forth. Well, what has happened to me, how I look at it with the modern day, they still don't care. With the reversal of Roe versus Wade, that says, again, they still don't care, that they want to be able to control our bodies and so forth. In regards to Sarah, when I was going through it, because I tell our listeners, even though we say these things, do your research and find out more. We always talk about reparations. I don't think they can give us enough reparations, first of all. That's just how I personally feel. So even if we do eventually one day in the universe Okay? They decide to give us real reparations. I still don't think it's enough. But they called themselves giving her or her family reparations when they returned her body, returned to South Africa on May 3rd in 2002, and they buried her on Women's Day. So you basically disrespected this woman the majority of her life. Mm-hmm. Had her demonized as a freak show, but then you're going to bury her on Women's Day of 2002, and you want us to say thank you. This is the part when I say, again, I get frustrated and pissed off when we want to celebrate certain things like they doing us a favor. To me, it's like someone, and I hate to make this type of reference, but this is the only way I can make it so it's a visualization. Somebody beating you continuously, ongoing, for years, and then there's one last time that they beat you, they say, oh, let me go and take you to the hospital. Now you should be happy that they did that for you, like they did you a favor. you understand what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it. So this thing that we have going on now, even though women are more advanced, they're taking more accountability for themselves, they're not allowing certain things to be done, the government still has certain things in place that we still don't make as much as men. Our opinions and things don't carry as much weight and so forth. So it's still being done. It's just more covered up. That's the best way I can say it, other than saying it's modernized, because it's not. Because it's still being done. We're still being treated less than. But yet, we're the ones that's doing so much to make sure these things are being done. All these men that sit in power, your mother helped you get there, sir. Okay? So all these powers that you're stripping from women, you're stripping from your mother. You're stripping from your daughters. And I don't understand how that's not being realized. Well, if it is being realized, it's just being ignored. That's the part that just blows my mind. So as you was talking about it, Walter, that's what I was thinking of. They're still doing it. They're still doing it. So. And as far as the DeSantis go, Billy, that person is right. How dare their parents release him on us? Right.
Yeah, and then
just
even
figure that one out.
Yeah, and given the fact that I don't know how they came by, it was a woman, I guess, in the state legislature that came up with this Florida's restrictive abortion law, and that is 6 weeks. After 6 weeks, abortion is banned, and when women obviously often don't know that they're even pregnant at 6 weeks, so I just think that this is another example of how, as you said, he doesn't care. And I think a woman did come up with the law, but of course he has been promulgating this as part of his persona politically in this country, because I think he's got his sights on higher office, even though I doubt he'd ever make it any higher than governor. But given these policies, it's going to be high time for people to begin to push back on all of this, because they're going to continue to keep trying to conquer and divide around these wedge issues. This is why you get some black people voting Republican, because of these kinds, not wedge issues, but fusion issues, given the fact that we see racism, but a lot of black people just buy into, they drink the Kool-Aid. And so they're getting some black people to vote Republican on these culture war issues, which is why they keep going on and on about them. And you mentioned at the beginning of the program about the Voting Rights Act, and I know we're not talking about that, but a lot of black women have been registered to vote and have been saving this country time and time again. And because the parties, Republican and Democrat, these parties fall roughly along racial lines now. So they use that, the Supreme Court has used that to overturn these racist laws in the South. But they're redistricting based on the fact that they can get more Republicans. To them, that's saying we can get more whites in one district. So the words have changed, but the strategy is still the same.
Exactly. That part right there, my Billy. And I want to say that the Kool-Aid that they're drinking is that narrative of, oh, get over it.
Oh, yeah.
It happened. Let's move forward. That's the Kool-Aid that they're drinking. But it's not about, oh, get over it. Okay, because you're still being treated as a slave and you don't even realize your mindset is still focused back there. So that's the Kool-Aid that you need to stop drinking. Oh, get over it. It happened. It's over with now. Or the other part, well, I wasn't a slave, but your grandparents was. And the reason you're able to do what you're doing right now is because of those that were, you know, that came before you, that took all the suffering, the beatings, and so forth. Okay, go ahead. Because I know we're running out of time. I get heated behind them, Billy, because you're 100% correct.
We're supposed to get heated. That's the whole point. We not just to shed heat, but to shed light as well. So, Walter, you brought up some pretty good points, and so did Miss Annie. But I also want to say, Walter, to the so-called father, or I guess the monster of gynecology, those black women who he operated on, people are calling for statues in their stories to be erected.
Right. And that needs to happen. That needs to happen. Like
that's Lucy, Anarcha, and Betsy.
That's right. And let me tell you, Dr. DeGraw. So let me just say this: I recommend people go out and read by Dr. Joy DeGraw's books. Read her papers. Watch her videos. Please. This is important. This is very important because it gives you some really great perspective. Like, you know, and on Mother's Day, let me share this because most people don't know this. The Statue of Liberty. Okay, how many people think they know the history of the Statue of Liberty? It was given. Most people only think, oh yeah, it was just given to us as a gift from France, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what everybody thinks. It was given to us as a gift from France, and it was. It was given to us, to the United States, as a gift from France. And there's a replica of the Statue of Liberty in France, on the river there, not far from the Eiffel Tower. But the Statue of Liberty was, number one, intended as a statue that was designed to to address the issue of slavery.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know this? How do we know this? How do you know this, Walter? Well,
you want to know? Here you go.
Few people know. Right. Well, I know that. This I know. First of all, the model for the Statue of Liberty was a black woman. That's the first thing. The second thing is the concept of Friedrich August Bartholdi, who was the artist who made the Statue of Liberty, right? Did it initially with chains, broken chains on the wrist and broken chains at the ankle. Right now, if you were to go see the Statue of Liberty, there are chains, there's a monocle on the ankle of the Statue of Liberty with a broken chain on it. Most people don't know that. Even the people who visited don't know that. I visited it and I didn't see it. I didn't notice it. Right? And because the first thing you do is you go there and you go up into it. Mm-hmm. You know, you just go. You're not looking at all the other stuff. You just go up into it. It's not the feet of the thing is not at ground level, so you don't see it. But this is something. They call it Mother Liberty, right? Statue of Liberty, Mother Liberty. Well, on Mother's Day, I want you to remember that women are our freedom. Women are the base of the core of our freedom and our humanity. So I'll leave you with that point. We love you, folks. Happy Mother's Day. And as always, from my voice to the radio waves to the hearts and the minds of the people, we love you. And there's not a thing you can do about it here on the Sunday Forum.